It's October the 20th, 2025, and I hope everybody's been having a wonderful day so far today. It is a beautiful day here in South Carolina. It's like 65 degrees or something like that right now. It's 5:45 right now in the afternoon, but it feels really nice. I got up this morning and had to go to the pharmacy to pick up one of my medications that I ran out of over the weekend, and when I got up to leave, it was about 8:30 this morning when I left here. The windshield was frozen over, and I went to hit the windshield wiper button that sprays out the fluid, but it also wipes. And when I hit that button, no windshield wiper fluid came out. It was frozen, which is just odd for this time of year here in South Carolina. We never get down in freezing temps in October, so that's probably, foretelling of a very cold winter. So we'll see how that turns out this year. And really quick before I dive into today's video, I did just want to say thank you so much to everybody for the birthday wishes. I really do appreciate it. Today is my birthday. I haven't talked about it or anything like that. Some people remembered my birthday from last year, because I was in the hospital. That's how I got brought up last year. But this year, like I said, some people remembered, so I put it in the comment section. So anyway, I just wanted to say thank you so much for the birthday wishes. I'm not one of those people that makes a big deal about their birthday. I get kind of embarrassed about it, to be quite honest with you. But I do really appreciate the birthday wishes. Thank you so much for that. So let's go ahead, and I'm 46 years old today. And as a matter of fact, my wife told me, she said, you need to be ready to go at 6:15. I don't know where she's taking me. I have no idea. I guess we're about to go somewhere. I don't know. We'll see. I have absolutely no idea what's about to happen. Probably some kind of get-together or something. I'm sure probably we're going to meet up over at my parents' house or something like that, but we'll see. She wouldn't tell me what it was, and I didn't keep asking, so whatever. I don't want to ruin the surprise, whatever it is. So, although I was planning on cooking dinner here at the house tonight, I went to the store and got a bunch of steaks and stuff like that for dinner, so I guess if they take me out to eat, I guess I'll be eating my steaks tomorrow night. But anyway, what I wanted to talk about today is, not doing too much at once. Because I think this is one of those things that happens to a lot of us. I think a lot of us, we, and with really good intentions, we get out and, we start getting sober, and we want to start doing everything. We want to get healthy in as many ways as possible. We're like, well, I've quit drinking and I'm starting to feel really, really good. So I might as well quit smoking while I'm doing this. I might as well start eating a carnivore diet, and no candy, no sugar, and then, no caffeine. And, people will do this. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. If that's what you want to do, it's your life. You do it, whatever you want to do. I'm not here to say what anybody can or cannot do. But what I did want to say is that, just be careful doing that. And I think that, when we go to quit drinking or using, that's a really, really big step to take. It is already almost impossible in itself just to quit using or drinking. It really just is, guys. And you start adding more things on top of this. And like I said, with all good intentions, trust me, I understand why you're trying to do it. But, once again, you do whatever it is that you want to do. I would just be careful with that, because I think that if you try doing way too much at once, you're going to overload yourself. And, if you start to overload yourself, you're going to start to get too much stress. It's going to build up too much. And at some point, you're just going to explode. And what's going to happen when that happens is we go back to drinking or using, because we get entirely too stressed out. And I think there's some things that we can do to help alleviate those feelings a little bit as well. And like I said, don't try to do too much at once. That's just my opinion, and once again, if you do whatever it is that you want to do, I'm not here to tell anybody how to live their life, how to go about getting sober or be sober. I'm just here just to try to educate and, just give, tell my experiences, tell my stories, and hopefully you can make a decision based on, my sharing of my experience. But one of the things I think that can help us out a lot is to find things, especially in the beginning of our sobriety, find things to reward yourself with. And unfortunately, this is one of those ideas that if in fact you are trying to get sober, quit smoking, don't eat sugar, don't do that, you're not going to be able to do this. But if you're willing to, bend a little bit and, maybe have a little cheat here and there. And when I say cheat, what I mean is like ice cream, or maybe a nice cup of coffee or something like that. We're in active addiction, especially with alcohol. A lot of us are not, going out and getting an expensive latte. We're not getting that super nice cup of coffee. We're not going to that mom and pop coffee shop. If we're getting coffee, we're running through the gas station and grabbing a cup, or we're just going into a gas station and grabbing a Red Bull or a Monster or something like that. I know for myself, I didn't drink coffee when I was in active addiction because I wanted to drink my alcohol. And if I even took a sip of coffee, it would make me throw up. I just could not do it. I couldn't drink hot beverages, especially in the morning, because I was just always so nauseous the next day when I woke up, from drinking the night before. I mean, heck, I'm drinking coffee right now. I drink coffee all the time, but back then I could not do it. I rarely drank coffee when I was in active addiction. I had it here and there, but it just wasn't something that I drank every single day. And now I can't go an hour without a cup of coffee. It's just insane. But, once again, going to that craft coffee shop and getting that super nice cup of coffee, that we're in October right now, that pumpkin spice latte that every single company's got a pumpkin spice something right now going on, or in the next week or two they will. But go out and get that super nice cup of coffee. Go to that really nice homemade ice cream shop on the weekend, Saturday afternoon after you went to the park and, hung out with your kids, or, you went out and did whatever adventure you went and did that day. And reward yourself. And that's what I meant by this, because, we still need to give ourselves rewards. We need to replace something to get those dopamine hits. And if you do it when you've done something, like I said, you made it a whole day sober, maybe enjoy a really nice cup of coffee, or a nice, ice cream cone, or a cup of ice cream or something. Or, maybe you went to some event on Saturday morning. I don't know, maybe you're into riding horses, and a lot of times people that ride horses, they go out and do these, they call them bridles and bloodies, and it's basically just a bunch of people meeting up early in the morning, and they ride horses and they drink Bloody Marys. But maybe you wanted to go to one of these like horse functions and there's people drinking, but you just wanted to go there to see the horses. You made it the whole entire time without drinking. When you get done, reward yourself. Maybe, like I said, stop by that mom and pop ice cream shop and get yourself a nice cup of ice cream for making it through that and being sober. Reward yourself. Treat yourself. The same thing with the coffee. If you made it through a Friday night and you had to go do some function for work, and you guys hung around after the meeting for an hour, and you've got a 3-hour drive home. I used to have to do stuff like this all the time. You've got to drive to another state for a manager meeting, and you guys spend the whole entire day in a meeting, and then when you get done, everybody goes and has drinks. And even if you are sober, that you got to hang around for a little bit because all the big wigs are there. You got to show your face, you got to smile, you got to pat everybody on the back and, kiss everybody's what in there. And, this would be the time that normally you would drink. but you make it through this whole entire after meeting with the big wigs and all that stuff, which can be super stressful in itself, especially when you're around all the big bosses, because we're trying to impress them. We want to sound smart, we want to have that nice conversation with them. And what always happens, you get up to, where the big boss is, or the big boss stops by wherever you're at to speak to you, and then you get all tongue twisted. You can't remember what you were going to say. And you're sitting there thinking to yourself, I just sounded like a complete idiot. But anyway, or at least that's what used to happen to me. But you make it through something like that, and you're on your way home for that 3-hour drive, and you're excited. You're like, I made it through this sober. Treat yourself to that nice cup of coffee. Stop by Starbucks. Stop by, that mom and pop, like I was saying, and get yourself that $10 cup of coffee. Treat yourself. Get that dopamine hit. Don't get it with alcohol. Get it with a treat. Get it with a cup of coffee. Get it with a nice cup of ice cream, or an ice cream cone, or maybe a pack of chewing gum, or a Snickers bar, or a pack of peanuts, whatever it is for you. But like I'm saying, just treat yourself here and there. You don't have to do it every single day, but at least treat yourself every few days. Remember why you're still alive. We're here to enjoy this planet. We're here to enjoy our lives. Not every single day has to be, wake up, go to work, go home, make dinner, go to sleep. We want to have a good time. We want to enjoy things here and there. That's what life's all about. And just because you've gotten sober doesn't mean that you can't still live your life and enjoy things. And that's why I'm saying, don't try to do too much at once. At least that's my suggestion. Once again, do whatever it is that you want to do, but you're already doing something so difficult already. Getting sober is so hard to do, especially if you've been drinking for, a very long period of time. Alcohol or that substance or that activity has become your very best friend. You lean on it for everything, and when you remove it, you're lost. You don't know what to do. And just making it through day one of sobriety is so hard. But like I said, just treat yourself and don't try to do too much at once. Once again, that's just my suggestion. I wouldn't go and try to get on a diet and restrict yourself in all these other ways, because it's going to drive you crazy. And like I've got written down here, take care of yourself and do things to get the dopamine levels reset, and that's another thing as well. Dopamine and serotonin play a huge role in our emotion, how we feel, our mood for the day, and our serotonin and dopamine levels get thrown so far out of whack whenever we're in active addiction. So when you go to quit, your dopamine and serotonin levels are just all over the place. They're super low. It takes a while to get back to homeostasis. You're not going to feel good for a while. That's just the way it is. And it varies between each person. For Joe over here, it might be 10 days. And for Susie over here, it might be 4. It just really depends on so many different factors. How long you've been drinking, how much you drank, what type of alcohol you drank. Are you a male or a female? How much do you weigh? What kind of comorbidities did you already have? I mean, there's just so many factors in it. Genetics play a role in that as well. So there's just no telling how long this is going to last for. But once again, it's not comfortable. It feels horrible, and you're not going to feel great. You're going to feel low, depressed, sad. You're not going to feel happy, or at least I didn't. And I speak to a lot of people about this, and there's a lot of people out there who have that lack of happiness. And treating yourself every once in a while to something. Maybe it's a pepperoni pizza for you with triple pepperoni on it. I don't know, but like I said, treat yourself. It's a Snickers bar or just whatever, or if it's a banana, just treat yourself to whatever it is here and there, especially when you've made it through something very difficult that normally in the past you had to either drink or use to make it through it. I've got written down here too, eat good food. have a snack when you get that urge. But, you know, right now, especially, you know, if you've been drinking or using a substance, you know, a lot of us end up with malnutrition because of that. You know, we're not eating properly. We're not getting the proper absorption. We're throwing up every morning. We've got diarrhea all the time. Our GI tracts are all out of whack. Our gut microbiome is so far off. It's just insane. We're not getting proper. Just enjoy yourself. You know, go buy that T-bone steak, or maybe, you know, like I was talking about in yesterday's video, maybe get some foie gras, or maybe some snails, or maybe you've never had scallops before and you want to try them, or maybe you've never had lobster, or maybe you've never had a soft shell crab. Go to the store, spend that little bit of money that you used to spend on alcohol or drugs, and, you know, try it out. Go home and cook it. Experiment. See how it turns out when you cook it, you know, or maybe you know how to cook a heck out of a steak. You know, just go buy yourself that ribeye or that T-bone or whatever it is, and go home and have yourself a really nice dinner, you know, and have yourself a nice glass of grape juice or something, pour it in a wine glass and pretend. I don't know, but, you know, once again, like I said, treat yourself here and there. Don't just be total, you know, I'm not doing anything, because I'm telling you, it's going to totally stress you out. And for that as well, that goes to another thing that I wanted to bring up today as well. And this is totally up to you. And I know this is going to sound crazy, because I quit smoking whenever I got sick. I quit that, you know, when I was in the hospital. I just didn't go back. But I was in the hospital for 3 weeks, and then I got out, and I was still really sick when I got home, and I didn't feel well. I didn't really want to smoke anyway, and then by the time that I finally, like, got that urge to smoke a cigarette, it had been so long, there was just no point in going back. But I would just don't think it's a great idea to try to quit smoking, quit drinking, and quit doing all these things all at once, unless, and, you know, I want to put this here, unless you're one of those people that can't smoke a cigarette without a drink. Or you can't do vice versa. Like you have to, if you smoke a cigarette, you have to use, or whatever it is, or you smoke a cigarette and you have to get on and look at pornography, or you have to go shopping, or whatever it is. You know, once again, if the two of those are interlocked, like that, you know, I wouldn't fool around with it at all. But, you know, if you can smoke a cigarette and not drink, and you've been smoking cigarettes for the last 40 years and drinking for the last 35, I wouldn't try quitting both those at once. And like I said, I know that sounds crazy coming from somebody who did. I just think it can be just way too overwhelming. Quitting smoking cigarettes already is like the most difficult thing to do in the world. It truly is. And then you try to quit drinking on top of it, you are totally going to overwhelm yourself. And before you know it, snap a finger, you're going to be right back drinking all over again. You just don't want to do that. And you know, there's a lot of other things too, like toothpicks, chewing gum, fidget spinners, knives, you know, like a flip knife. I don't have one on me, but like a folding knife. And they've got the ones that, you know, you can flick them open. It's just like a fidget spinner or something, really. You can fidget with it all day, you know, opening it and closing it, fidget spinners, and they're spinning it. People, you know, they quit smoking or drinking. A lot of times they'll go to toothpicks or chewing gum, things like that. You know, just something to occupy their hands and their mouth, because a lot of time we get the hand-mouth, that link between the two, especially with smoking and drinking, because you're doing hand-to-mouth when you drink. So, you know, when we remove those things, we kind of need something to fill that gap, and something like a toothpick could be something you do, or maybe you switch to drinking soda waters or something like that, just to get that hand to mouth thing back again. But my point to today's video is, guys, is that don't overload yourself. Quitting using or drinking, or, you know, whatever the vice is already hard enough in itself. don't try doing all of them at once. You know, if you've got 5 vices, knock one down at a time, unless you really think that, you know, I can knock out 3 of these at a time and I'll be completely fine. If that's the case, go for it. And if you can quit all of your vices at once and you think you're going to be completely fine, you do whatever makes you happy and whatever you're comfortable with. I'm just wanting to say this really for the people out there who are brand new to this. They've never attempted to get sober before. This is brand new to them. They don't know what to expect. I'm just going to say this: super hard, is frustrating. You're going to feel agitated. You're going to feel like you could just rip your nails off with your teeth at some points. And that's my point, that if you try to do too many things at once, you know, I know for myself, every single time that I did that, I relapsed in just a day or 2. I never got it very far at all because I was trying to do too many things at once. I just mentally and physically could not handle it. And, you know, trying to go to work every day, and, you know, working as a chef is a very stressful job, and I was so stressed out, and then I'm not smoking or drinking. I had to do one at a time, and I think that played into why I was never successful in the past, because, like I said, I was trying to do too many things at once. I quit drinking. Now I'm going to quit smoking. And then I went overboard. I'm like, I'm going to, you know, knock out all the fat out of my diet and all the sugar out of my diet. And I was trying to do too many things, restricting myself from everything, and not allowing myself to get that dopamine at all. But anyway, guys, I think that's it for today. I have got to go. I'm looking at my watch right now. My daughter just left and texted me and said that she's gone on some secret mission. I have no idea what's about to happen, but I need to run inside and do a couple more things real quick, like brush my teeth before we leave. My wife says she's going to be here in like 3 minutes, so I've got to get in here and finish getting ready so that we can go, because my wife said we've got to walk out the door immediately as soon as she gets here. So sorry to cut this off so quick, but I have got to run. It's been a super busy day today. I already took my youngest son to the Department of Motor Vehicles, and we got his beginner's permit this morning. So we spent all morning at the DMV. Then I had to go meet my wife and get my youngest son from her, and then we had to go to the grocery store, and it's just been a long day. I've not had a chance to sit down and, like, you know, chill out for just a minute yet. So I'm going to get out of here and go finish getting ready so I can find out whatever the surprise is. Once again, thank you so much for the birthday wishes, guys. I really do appreciate it. I never thought that I'd make it here to 46 years old. I truly didn't. They told me back in 2022 that I would not make it to the holiday season of 2023. Here it is. We're going into 2026. Hang on to your hope, guys. You never know how this is going to turn out. I didn't know how this was going to turn out. And I'd almost given up all hope. And here I am now, guys. I'm truly blessed. And I'm truly blessed to have each and every single one of you here. I really am. So until tomorrow, I will see you guys then. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your night. I love you guys so much.